if you concentrate on locations that give the highest level of amenity to your workforce, then you're going to have a more productive workforce.
As an architect, I'm ashamed to say that it's not a single building that actually makes a city. It's a combination of those buildings and how they come together and create those spaces that is more important.
Well, I think we can make the stage. The action comes from the community, but if we think a little bit about setting the stage in the right way, then the performance will occur.
The old estate agent's cry is location, location, location. But place is a more involved nation than merely where. It's also about what if.
And even if you look at Sydney's history in the 1960s, people wanted to stay away from the waterfront. Melbourne was exactly the same. These were terrible places, messy places, polluted places, places that didn't have any sense of amenity. But then there became a recognition that these sites were so closely connected to major infrastructure and immediately adjacent to many downtowns. And that presented itself with a tremendous opportunity for cities to redevelop.
Hello, and welcome to the third in our Thought Leadership series on the future workspace. Today we're going to be looking at that most apparent of assets whose possibilities can still be overlooked: place. We'll be hearing from the experts who know how to make the very most of workspace location and the need to marry both public and private realms.
The public space, the nature and quality of the streets, the parks, the squares, the places where people can interact, are the public living rooms of the city. And as we are seeing with Generation X and Y, a desire not to be in the backyard, not to be in the private place, but to be more in the public place, if we don't design the public places well, then the whole of that part of the city will fail.
The current thinking is that this strength of cultural identity has a direct impact on the inflow of the so-called creative class. Younger, more mobile workers who bring energy and prosperity in their wake.
Well, I think the public realm, there's a kind of growing understanding that the public realm is that place in which we all come together. It's that place where the clearest expressions of society and culture can be made. And so cities that are looking to improve their economic competitiveness are investing a lot of money in the public realm of cities, because that, frankly, is where we all come out of our workplaces and out of our living spaces and confront each other as citizens in place.
It's this balance of private and public space which is crucial for our case study of an up-and-coming location: Victoria Harbour in Melbourne's once moribund Docklands.
So this is where Melbourne touches the water. It's the water we've never really had. Melbourne started up the river at the Turning Basin, and it slowly moved down to Victoria Harbour. And we've never had that psychological connection with water that other cities have, and this is it.
Victoria Harbour is in the heart of the Docklands redevelopment. It's the $1.8 billion centrepiece of the project on the CBD's western doorstep, and features almost 4 kilometres of waterfront with public promenades in what's designed to be a shared space.
It has to be a place where everybody's welcome. I think any part of a city that becomes exclusionary then suffers the results of that. So to be an enclave would be a death penalty, I think, for Docklands. It would basically become boring because vibrant city life is about having those quirky things happen. You know, seeing a guy go past with a tricycle with a dirty great dog on the back, or whatever it is at the time that actually makes you smile. So I think it will become a place for everybody, and it should be, and it should be encouraged.
The distinctive National Australia Bank HQ is going to be joined in Victoria Harbour by Australia's largest office block, with the arrival of the ANZ in 2009. New residents are also giving the precinct the mixed use of living and working, which is fundamental to its philosophy.
Well, I think Victoria Harbour is a very contemporary manifestation. It is certainly a waterfront redevelopment in scale that is right up there. There are not a lot of examples of cities that have successfully redeveloped sites of that scale. And so I think it's remarkable from both the sense of the scale, but also in the sense of the kinds of uses and the manifestation of the way the public realm has driven a lot of the development in the Docklands precincts. That, I think, sort of positions it as a very contemporary project.
Timing is, of course, everything, and there has been some impatience in Melbourne about how long it all seems to be taking.
These things don't happen instantly. The city takes a little time to evolve and emerge, but I think Melbourne is ready for it, because I think, particularly because Victoria Harbour offers an opportunity in terms of the type of buildings and the type of workplace that occur there that can't readily happen within the CBD. And this is a condition that's applying to all cities. It applies to Sydney and other international cities, and it is applying to Melbourne.
Desirable, yes, but just how affordable? As the experts stress, diversity is vital to the success of any location. Uniformity is death to the ambitious space.
I think what it brings is a range of people with different interests. And if we think of any part of the city that's kind of stratified into an age group or an socio-economic group, it becomes a little bit predictable, a little bit flat. And the interesting parts of the city is where the old can look at the young, or where there's a kind of energy within the streets of people discussing things or debating things.
Victoria Harbour is a work in progress. There's another 15 years to go before it's complete. But the vision of a sustainable, equitable and desirable location is already shining through.
I think the project is an expression of the vitality of the entire city. And the kinds of quality that you see in the public spaces, in the pedestrian walkways, in the what will be parks and open spaces, is clearly an expression of Melbourne's aspiration to be a city that embraces value and embraces really citizens and embraces the way that people should live in urban environments.
I think Docklands provides a fantastic opportunity for an environment that is seen as being healthy to work at, healthy to live in, and basically starts presenting the part of the city of the future. Now, if they can get that feel about it and combine it with a quality public realm experience, then that's an incredible product that you're selling. Not easy to get in many places in the world.
Victoria Harbour is just one domain, albeit a very recognisable one, which shows that place isn't only about location. It's also about how a space is best designed and used to make the very most of its assets.
I mentioned there are physical places, but it's the way they are activated, the way people behave in them, the way people interact within them is the thing that determines their success. So I think we have to think a lot about the quality of the spaces, so that they are pleasant, exciting, stimulating spaces, and the quality of the architecture which informs those spaces, but more importantly how the uses mix, how people interact. And I think reasonably dense and highly diverse uses are the things that tend to make parts of cities more successful.
Oh, I think the businesses will be those that understand that the spaces that they occupy are really critical to the success of their business, because the people that they employ are fundamental to their success. So you're going to have people that want to come to work, are more likely to interact with colleagues, more likely to develop a community around their workplace. And it's going to be those businesses, I think, that will come to Victoria Harbour.
Next, in the final part of our Future Workspaces Thought Leadership series, we look at the role of people and the all-important human element.
Actually, I just had a senior member of the bank visiting from London who just met me in my office, and he said if he worked in this space, he'd get up every morning really wanting to come to work, and that's from someone who's literally had a half a day experience in the space. So the feedback from clients and the feedback from staff has been absolutely terrific.